gap of saying that
Oh, that by Trump making people eligible. He's not. That's not for. I just put a broke. Did I put that breakdown up in here about that same ordeal where old girl was making fun of herself? Because I know exactly what you're talking about too. I really, really do. I really, really do. Let me see if I can find another version. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play your version real quick. Just to see. In the fire, and I want the flames, and everybody looking at me like they need some game. Take a pencil and a paper out and write it, man. I'm just so insane that I touch your brain. Thinking through the concepts. Everybody got the prime with the mindset. I don't know if they looking at the concept. Uh, 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 oh. Burn live, y'all marijuana, we keep y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers' eye red, keep it underage, smoking out social media, definitely killing myself for your entertainment, sitting here with friends and family, starting a cannabisation. I got E-Dub in the building. I got hopefully everybody coming through. I'm not sure if everybody coming through. I really want to go live because I got a new camera. I don't know if anybody can tell, but now I will be broadcasting. This is 4K resolution. Stepping my game, trying to get to the 4K.
That's a fact.
I'm actually looking at how it looked too. On there, it looks so much better than the other camera. For
Yeah, it's
how
more zoomed into you.
yeah, I like that. I like that. It looked more natural. I can't wait till everybody else come up here. Especially when I was looking at Jason's camera. I was like, dang, he got a nice camera. Like,
Hmm.
he probably didn't pay that much for that camera. That's a nice camera, dog. So instead of getting into the juiciness, we're gonna get into this is what you explain. I'm gonna show you a video, and then after we play this video, I'm gonna try to find the other video that goes over more of a better explanation to me, my idea of what I would look for of an explanation of explaining something, so you can
Yeah.
get an idea. Uh,
Hello, hello.
Hey,
man, I didn't know
like
who is that.
Huh?
she has some new hair. Look at her.
who is that? Who is that?
Look, when I got on earlier, City was like, Nicki Minaj. I said, what? He said, I didn't know we had Nicki Minaj up here. I'm like, no, I just switched it up, put the red on today.
Hmm.
Put my little red on.
Yeah. You see how my camera is like matching the vibe now. I'm loving it. I got a new camera today.
Oh, you got a new camera?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be in 4K resolution, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it just I think this picks me up better. The background and stuff, it picks up better. I still can't throw no commercials. I still can't do my commercials. So I don't know what's up. Also, y'all, I can't I just gotta put this out here. I can't wait to the new location. I can't wait to the new location. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You finalized it?
We we got 48 hours. It'll be finalized in 48 hours. Um, I'm gonna try my best. There's one reason why I got this camera because the view of my background of what I really want is breathtaking. I swear to God.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I really want that. I'm hoping for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying for that. I'm praying for that.
right.
Other than that, y'all, we finna get into the show. I ain't gonna hold the people that is out here waiting, talking about look at her. That's not what I came up for. But yet again, Edub has this video. We finna go over it. And I heard about this video. I'm gonna play his version, and then while we playing this version, I'm gonna go play my version, and we're gonna discuss it real quick, so you can get a better understanding of why Trump is so called dropping the age limit from 7 when it used to be 18, and what it really stands for and what it really represents. And then after that, then we're gonna get into this P Diddy of all these names that's been dropping. Even though we ain't been covering, I know y'all been saying all those names that's been dropping.
I haven't really. I haven't even been. I just
What?
been trying to wait. I haven't been listening.
Oh, see, that's
I'm.
why I
I
thought.
don't know. It was too. I had to let it pile
Yeah,
up.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. Then I had to get away from it too because I felt like
It
how
was too
Seven
much.
would have said like we was maybe covering it too much. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get too drawn in it, and then wasn't able to go nowhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
So without a further ado, I swear I be stopping people in some bad looking faces.
If you don't think that something is wrong with the shit that I'm about to show you, then something is wrong with you. So they're saying that they lowered the age of dependence from 18 to the age of 7. You heard what I just said? They lowered the age of dependence from the age of 18 to the age of 7. So they're saying right now that your 7-year-old is responsible enough to take care of a household. Oh, you think I'm playing? Look at this shit. They listen to this shit right here. From 18 to 7. Listen. So now, if you have an 8-year-old child, it is the belief of this administration that that child is self-sufficient and could work and support the family. I don't know where this shit is going, but it don't seem like it's about to go the right way. How is it possible for a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old to take care of family? So you have Florida, then you have Iowa stating that these kids can work. Basically, what that says to me is that you're viewing these minors as adults. My question to you is, what 8-year-old do you know right now that's responsible enough to go to work, to get paid and take care of family? At that age, they're not even responsible enough to clean up their own rooms. So you're telling me the workforce is more important than giving these kids an education? Or what you're telling me is that these adults want to treat these kids like adults for a reason. And since we're on the topic, what type of jobs will these kids have? This is the question that we have to ask. You see, but this is the type of shit they do behind our backs when everybody is worrying about what's going on with Diddy's and the entertainment industry and what's going on in Hollywood with Justin Bieber and all of this shit that don't make no never mind or don't matter to what's going on with life. They make up laws and shit like this while we're not looking. And now we are in some real shit. When you're at those delicate ages, you shouldn't have a care in the world. But apparently, these people don't think that. Apparently, these people have something else planned. We need as much information as we can get on this shit because this shit don't sound good at all. Pay attention.
They
All
done
right,
lost their mind. They done lost
cool.
their mind.
Okay,
I
so
got an 8-year-old, and she ain't nowhere near ready to do nothing but be a
Mm,
kid. What she supposed to be? What's wrong with them?
but I want y'all to pay. I don't think y'all really paid attention to the part to where even though he posted that video, he wasn't sure what that policy meant and what he stood for on that policy, right? So, understandable. Not trying to call nobody ignorant, don't want to call nobody dumb. I would call this is what us Republicans would call misinformed or misleading a crowd. So,
Mhm.
and that token, I got this video where the girl is finna almost do the same exact thing, but my boy, and since most of the time I have to prove myself with color on color. So if this is a color person, he's finna break it down for us. And then after we break it down, then I'm gonna discuss and then we're gonna go over it and see does this make a little bit more sense of what the Trump administration is trying to do compared to what that guy was saying.
All right, bet.
August, are we sending them back to school or are we sending them to work? Because if the dependent age is now 7, you trying to say they dependent. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, they used to work at that age, right? So is he trying to tell us that they need to go back to work? Because I don't think Trump know that these kids ain't regular kids. These kids will flip out if they ain't got they tablets. Now, is we putting them in IT? Is
Mhm.
we kids had a code? They might like that. We're going to have to figure out them some jobs because they ain't gonna do regular jobs. They barely listen to them teachers. Like these employers is about to catch hell. They gonna be babysitters. And don't put me at the same company as my kids. I don't want to work with them. I already got to be with them at home. Like y'all done already took them out of school, so now y'all want them to work, and then don't put them as the same company as me. Like this.
Yo, we gotta start educating ourselves before we decide to get on the internet and make fool of ourselves. But we'll get there. Let's continue.
This ain't gonna work. Like, and how much is you paying these kids? Because if you my 7-year-old he needs to get paid well. He can't work for pennies, so that ain't gonna work either. Then you can't even disrespect that people kids. Cause now they gotta leave their job to go to this job. They're gonna probably, oh my Lord, Trump ain't thinking this out. He ain't thinking this out clearly. And then the big families is definitely gonna get the most, like to hit the most. Like all like them single parents, they got like 8, 9, 10 kids.
Jesus.
All right, let me give y'all a little bit of education so y'all stop looking stupid on the internet. So the dependent age is not changing from 18 to 7 to where you can actually claim the person as a dependent. All right. The dependent age is changing from 18 to 7 as far as you being required to have a job or to be working towards getting a job or be doing volunteer work or be going to school in order to qualify for government welfare or benefits. We like to label it as social services, but the reality is that people are getting on Section 8, they're getting food stamps, they're doing all of this, but they become forever welfare recipients. And Trump is saying that we're no longer going to just give people lifetime benefits and let them pass it on from family member to family member because the system itself is not set up that way. It was never supposed to be that. While you have liberals and Democrats saying that we basically have to make sure that we give the most vulnerable amongst us, no, it's a whole lot of welfare fraud, a whole lot of social services fraud where people don't even want to get a job. And if you are able-bodied, you're not old, you're not disabled, you're not a veteran, then you're going to have to go and get a job, especially if your child is above the age of 7. Now that we got that out of
Now that y'all heard that explanation, do that make a little bit more sense?
Much more sense. Much more sense. Because it was like, what?
This
that wasn't making no sense at all.
This is before we get into that, this is what I be talking about. This is what EW you're gonna go through, where a person is gonna use a misinformation or their information versus your information. You see, okay? So in the sense of the fact, you seen that video, and you know what I'm saying, I wanted to talk about this, but I wasn't sure that this was gonna pop up, and I appreciate you. This is one reason why I appreciate you, to show my people and show my audience that misinformation versus actually somebody coming on here to explain something to make it make sense. I think it's better. Now me explaining to coming on here being funny, you know what I'm saying, trying to be sarcastic, trying to crack jokes on something, and talking about this topic, nobody would have learned it.
Right.
Okay. So in that token, now to explain this, if you're 7 years old and you got a kid 7 on up, that means the parent has to go out here and find a job. not the kid go out there and find a job.
But that makes sense. I mean, once your kid is 3 and able to go back to school or able to, I'll even give it 5 when they can go. I'll give it 5 because they could go into kindergarten at 5. Sometimes it'd be hard. 3, listen, when my kids, listen, they going to pre-K, they going to, look, 3 years old, you in pre-K. You need to be, listen, okay? But 5, they could legally go to kindergarten and all of that stuff, public school system. So I say 5. But listen, yeah, you do not need to be home. You need to be out finding a job, working, doing something. I get it. But that other way, I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. These kids can't be working. I got an 8-year-old. She can't go to work.
But what? And this is what I mean. Like, that's why I was like, that dude really didn't know. So you being sarcastic. And I get that being sarcastic, but yet again, E-Dub took that as information.
And that's the bad part about it. And that's why we have so much misinformation out here, because they're just, especially on here, on social media, they're just putting this part out. Or you got a ignorant person just speaking out of not doing a full investigation. Like, what is he really talking about?
E-Dub. And I'm not trying to pick on you, but I just want you to become a better debater when you come on other people's platforms or you come on stuff like this. TikTok, you got your world, you got your lane, and I understand that and I respect it. But when you come outside your comfort zone, you got to come with ammo. And that situation that y'all first started the debate on, because he sent me the clip when you went on Jason's podcast, which that didn't have nothing to do with it. But the fact that what you were trying to bring up about the children in school, if you would have made the points, hit at the points that most books that got taken out of most schools were pornographic books that was explaining how to penetrate a young boy from another boy, stuff like that. What? Yeah, that's been documented. It was a black preacher that was going around to different town hall meetings, reading off this book, getting kicked out of towns. So if he can say, now when this dude Christian, I think his name was, now when Christian would on there and bunk that, like, you can't bunk that. You got parents going to town halls meeting talking about, I don't want this in the schools. You can't say that didn't happen, because that's happening. We can too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bringing that up to let you know, to show you, plus this video, with them 2 videos side by side, that you gotta come with your ammo. You know what I'm saying? Right. You gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have it right then, on here, especially on here, you better, hey, capiche. Pull up this video, woo, woo, woo. I just put it in the box because I need this, I need to get my point across. You have the ability to bring up video to show your point. But I personally can't go in the middle of your debate with somebody and pull up points just to try to prove your point. Then it's like I'm taking sides.
Yes, bias. Yep.
Yeah. Even though I was on your side, trust me, I really was. Like, don't get it twisted. Okay, y'all. I'm glad we did that. We need to start doing more of that. I don't know how that happened, but that's exactly more videos that I want.
Had me like, what the? Right. I would have been out here looking stupid.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure.
Not knowing.
See, I watch old boy video. I watch a lot of his videos. I may not watch all of it, but I watch certain things, and I watch things that I know that is trending in the black community. If I see a video that's him talking about something that's trending, especially on TikTok or something in the black community, I'm definitely checking him out. Anton Daniels, he's from Detroit, successful black man, made it off his own. You know what I'm saying? Do a lot of that. You can do your research and hear little things about him, but the point is, he's standing for black culture more than people allow him. I done heard people call him sellouts and stuff like that, but yet again, I don't see it just because he comes with a strong argument or a strong debunk that shows that look at her. These statistics compared to what you're looking at, statistics that actually ran through numbers, is totally different.
But you know how
So
that be. A lot of people don't like, especially our colors, don't like to be corrected. They can't stand when somebody telling them something right. they
Yeah,
don't they don't want to be wrong. You know, that's why I'm like, I'm glad. You know, I never been like that
but yet
because
again, in the same token, remember what I was telling you earlier about working with shaking hands with the devil.
yeah,
And the higher up we go in this industry, you know what I'm saying, for as getting deals and stuff like that, we might get a deal. Now I would never take a deal with like Planned Parenthood. I'm not. I would never ever stick down, sponsor that company.
wait,
You
I
know,
didn't hear you. What you said?
I wouldn't sit down and sponsor Planned Parenthood.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They hit us up in the email and say, "Hey, I want you to sponsor y'all. I'll pay you a nice lump sum." I would have to turn that down. But there are
right.
companies out here that I may disagree with some of their values, but yeah, I would sit there and collect a bag from them. Like, I'm sorry, it's just a commercial. I would do that. I'm no lie, no lie, no lie. I appreciate that. Now, let me do this. So, what have y'all heard so far about Diddy?
I haven't heard nothing new. I was waiting
Oh
to,
my God.
yeah.
I haven't heard too much for the simple fact I didn't want to be consumed by it for real.
Didn't want to be
But
swallowed in the mask.
right. Yep, yep.
Okay.
I kind of wanted
Well,
to be shocked when I get on here and hear about the latest.
and you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I appreciate that because I'd rather come on here and not know and learn on her too, and get shocked like, wow, did you just hear that? Did he just say that? Where is our girl? Because to be honest with you, I haven't heard from my lawyer in a minute.
See, they probably waiting, pile it up, get the goods.
Yeah, because he's very structured.
Yeah, and yeah. So far, what I am seeing is this picture right here.
Uh-oh.
That's for real. And Kim, okay, that's Kim Porter.
Hmm.
Is that who James was talking about? The secret witness?
No,
That's
she
not
she's gone. She's dead.
the secret witness.
No, Kim Porter, his ex.
Oh, Kim Porter is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know. Just going to her page and doing like this, we should be able to see a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, look, just right there. I see three P Diddy's. He locked me up for 5 days.
Now,
That's a
who is that?
P Diddy and some chick. We got 50 Cents and Lauren London named Diddy. And these are 5 hour videos, so she just dropped these videos.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, so it's one. So some of is one video, but she chopped them up.
no, I'm not
Mm-mm.
sure. These are different videos whenever she did it.
No, no, I'm saying that because I see that she got the same outfit on in some videos. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably did a long rant and then broke it down. Because this one right here is talking about Britney Spears, which I started to go into this, but I stopped for some reason. Saying that when you know Do anybody remember Britney Spears? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
Saying,
Britney Spears online and she was tweaking out bad. It looked real bad. I feel bad for her,
well,
but it
this
looked
is
real
trying to
bad.
say that
Wix gives you the power of
and
AI
Diddy
to
did
build the
it.
website
And
you
Diddy got a hold of her, basically.
What? He was in them freak off too?
Wild Night with Diddy pushed Britney Spears over the edge. Stick around because this story's darker than you think.
Cassie just name dropped Britney Spears in the Diddy trial as she was on the stand testifying. She said Sean was there and he brought Dallas Austin, Britney Spears. I think those were the two that stand out to me. Now, what she is talking about is her 21st birthday party that took place on September 8th, 2007. The picture is right above. You see Britney with Diddy, Paris Hilton, and then there's Dallas Austin next to her.
We're about to dive into a jaw-dropping tale from 2007 when Britney Spears and Sean Diddy Combs partied hard in Vegas, just hours before her infamous VMA meltdown. We're peeling back the curtain on a night that might have changed pop culture history with new details from Diddy's ongoing trial.
Anybody remember when she got on stage, bald headed still?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, so just make sure we all caught up of what she explained. Man, look, hold on, y'all.
She said, "Hold on, y'all."
I'm just saying. I just think it's gonna get funky. Y'all got your popcorns ready? Big screen, please.
That now make this story hit even harder. By the end, you'll know everything. Why it happened, what went down, and how it connects to the mess that Diddy's in now. Guys, hold on to your hats because we're going to get into it. Okay, so picture this. It's September 7th.
I know this is not on topic. But she has such a soft voice. Easy to listen to. We're gonna get into Diddy. Like, what you gotta say next?
I wonder if that's her
2007.
real voice
In Las
or
Vegas,
if that's just her
buzzing.
YouTube voice.
See, don't mess it up.
Oh, I'm
Don't
sorry.
mess it. Don't mess it.
Yeah.
Don't mess it.
Sorry.
Cause she might post something on Twitter and you be like, yeah, back to the Diddy voice. I'll be like, oh my God, I can never watch you again.
You know how you be having your phone voice and then you got your,
Oh yeah, I remember back in the day. Yeah, girl, how you doing? Your mama sleep. Yeah. we could talk now.
Mm-hmm.
Then yo, boy, you on the phone. What you want, ma?
That's a fact, though. That's a fact.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I hate to admit that I do remember those.
The strip's alive with neon lights, thumping music, and A-list celebs are bouncing from club to club. Britney Spears, the pop princess herself, is at Pure Nightclub for Cassie Ventura's 21st birthday bash, hosted by none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Paris Hilton's there, music producer Dallas Austin is in the mix, and the VIP section's a chaotic swirl of champagne, flashing cameras, and a lot of narcissistic egos. Anyway, Britney's already under a microscope, fresh off her divorce from Kevin Federline. That head-shaping moment, you guys remember that back then? And the relentless paparazzi stalking her every move. She's trying to claw her way back with a new single, Gimme More. Now, that was set to debut at the MTV VMAs in 2 ways. But tonight, she's partying and the world was not watching. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. According to a bombshell report by Shutterscoop, Diddy's been bragging for years about hooking up with Britney that very night. A longtime associate claims Diddy told this story dozens of times, laughing about how Britney was crazy in bed and out of control. He thought it made him look like a player, another notch on his belt. Photos from that night show Britney and Diddy cozying up together. Her eyes are hidden behind sunglasses indoors at night. Just to keep that in mind. Now, she was looking like she could barely hold herself together. Now, after they left Pure, they moved to 50 Cent's after party at the Hard Rock Hotel. And the night, it stretched into the early hours of the morning. Insiders say that Britney was glass-eyed, disoriented, clinging to Diddy in a way that raised everyone's eyebrows. Now, fast forward to September 9th, 2007. Britney takes the stage at the VMAs to perform Gimme More. It's supposed to be her big comeback, the moment she proves she's still got it. Instead, it's a train wreck. She stumbles through the choreography, lip syncs off beat, and looks like she's somewhere else entirely. Critics rip her apart, calling it the lowest point of her.
I guess this is just to sum us up, to speed us up on what's going on. Okay, so if y'all don't remember, this she just explaining what happened to Britney for as a summary. I wish we just get to the good part. I don't want to skip it because I don't know where the good part's at. But
Yeah, me either.
I'm skipping. I'm sorry. Ooh, see, there we go. We're gonna go back to that right here.
For prostitution. He's been in a Brooklyn detention center as heavyweights like Britney to flex his clout. But here's the problem. Diddy's not looking so untouchable anymore. In September of 2024, as we know, he was arrested on federal charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, transportation for prostitution. He's been in a Brooklyn detention center ever since, pleading not guilty, of course. But the evidence is piling up. Okay, we've been covering the case. Cassie's 2023 lawsuit against him, settled out of court for $20 million, accused him of rape, physical abuse, and forcing her into drug-fueled freak-offs, which we know was with all these male escorts from around the country, and she's getting it on while he watches. Her testimony in Diddy's ongoing trial, which, like I said, we've been covering, is where Britney's name first resurfaced.
More pictures from that night. There's Britney. Obviously, that's Cassie and Diddy. More pictures from that night. Britney standing next to Diddy, 50 Cent, Paris. Another one from that night. Britney with Diddy, Cassie. Why is this important? Well, September 8th, 2007 was the night before the MTV Video Music Awards, the 2007 MTV Video Music Awards, where Britney Spears performed her now infamous performance of Gimme More. Now, also why it's important, because Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill from TriStar Sports and Entertainment allegedly were the ones that orchestrated Britney's conservatorship to begin with, and they have been named in this Diddy lawsuit multiple times. It's a little bit jarring because the Britney fandom has always had questions about that night. These pictures are not new. We've seen these pictures for a long time, but we've always had questions on what went on that night because Britney just didn't seem okay the next day. But anyways, put your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think of this? This is wild.
Cassie told the jury that Diddy invited Britney and Dallas Austin, her ex-boyfriend, to her Vegas birthday party, and that the beginning of the relationship was kind of marked publicly with a kiss.
No offense, that just sounds like a setup, like an inside setup to ruin somebody's career. Because yet again, you probably wasn't gonna get paid off of that. That probably, if Britney Spears would have came out, it probably would have slowed Justin Bieber down in his popularity, or Usher or whoever. I don't know. It does sound like that because Britney Spears was going through whatever she was going through. You know what I'm saying? To have a comeback. I think this is where I think it just sounds funny and sketchy. It's the comeback, and then you ran into Diddy. Like, who told you to come to Diddy? I understand Diddy invited you, but yet again, who on the other side talking to Britney Spears was like, hey, let's go talk. Let's go talk to Diddy.
Well, yeah, that makes bad sense.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's too many allegations of Diddy can pay off somebody to do something, to take something, and to move something. That's just, I don't know. That's just, it just sounds like Diddy. You set this woman up for failure. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's a video going viral of Justin Bieber singing a song that it's like maybe 8 words, 8 verses or something. But people are speculating to think that it's because the simple fact that Justin Bieber calling out for people to help him because he was going through this crisis that nobody was listening. We was listening but wasn't listening.
When did the song come out? Is it the song with him talking about something at a Diddy party?
No, it's I don't know. I just remember something. He's like, when you all, it's like he's all alone. It's a little viral, not viral, but like a short.
Hmm.
So it's not that big or nothing like that. So if you see it, you see it. If I do, I don't know if I can really go back because I don't know. I don't know if I watched it on YouTube or what.
I'll find it later.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it'd be nice to run across it at the moment, but I doubt that I do it. I think I gotta really learn how to. Well, now that I know that y'all are this strong, I really, really gotta start bookmarking a lot of things. I see a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on, hold on.
Thing that you may want to confess tonight before you go in. I keep everything right here. Or right here.
Yeah.
You angelic all the time. And is there anything that you may want to
Did y'all see that nervousness?
Yeah, that was the same type of nervousness when he was on a Breakfast Club and they were talking about uh the gay allegation that he had. So yep, I know that same type of yeah, yep.
I don't know about that allegations, but I see that a fake smile.
confess tonight
Don't
before you go in?
smile.
I keep everything right here. Or right here.
Yeah.
That was one of those. Woo. Okay.
Yeah, it was an inside type of thing that Cassie know about and he know about and he like yep.
Well, look like I hope she ain't that high. Get me in trouble out here in front of these people.
Mm-hmm.
If I couldn't ask one question today, I just want to know, hey man, when you first started doing drugs and what was it? Because I'm just curious to think like it had to be an upper because for one, no offense, but you're in New York. Like I think when I think of New York, I don't think that nobody's taking anything to slow them down.
You
Okay,
speed.
hold on now. If we talking about city or upstate now, it's difference. It's a difference.
We, we're talking about in general, just when somebody thinks of New York, we as
Nah,
outsiders not from New York that don't live in them streets. That's not about that life. I am not a New Yorker, so you see what I'm saying. I'm not about that life. But when I hear New York,
Okay, let me say this. When people say New York, they're really be talking about the five boroughs.
right.
'Cause a lot
Okay, thank you. All right,
don't
cool, cool.
they don't know about, they be acting like, well, a lot of people don't know that Rochester and all the other, you know what I'm saying, going up, that is more to New York. all the
Right.
way to Albany. They don't talk about that. When they say New York, 5 boroughs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Now, if you hear something on the news and it happened up there,
Then
they're not gonna truly specify that area like that. You see what I'm saying? They just
Yep.
gonna say New York, or they might just say Uptown New York, and that's just because of paid governors, paid people that like, look here. You know what I'm saying? I got it to where when my town and city get paid for or talked about, this is how the story has been brought up. That's why black people don't like how they is persuade in the news coverage. Not thinking, not ever thinking who owns this news coverage and why. They just think, oh, it's the white man. And that kills me. It was like, okay, bro, don't you think that you're a Democrat. You voted for a Democratic Party and you're watching a Democratic channel demigrate your own people. And
Yeah.
you don't think that's a problem. You always want to be like, oh, it's just the white man. How about it's the Democratic white man? But if you say the Democratic white man, never. Never. What? So you trying to say a Democratic white man ain't racist just as much as a Republican white man?
Yeah.
So you trying to tell me if there was a Diddy on case right now, and there was another man that exactly fits the exact same case of what Diddy then, they got same exact video. You trying to tell me that just because he's a light skinned version, he's gonna get less time than a dark skinned version? Stop playing with me.
That's how they think, though. I ain't gonna lie.
That irritates me to think that because they were like, if the skin was on the other foot, but yet again, we go through more. Well, we can say more racial thing on the internet than a white person and get away with it.
Yeah.
Or hold on, because I know my friend be watching and I don't want to miss a step. So we don't say racial thing, which is true. Okay. Sorry. We don't. You say discriminating thing about
Yeah.
because you can't be racist. Okay. And I get that. And I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna try to remember to take that into consideration. Because I do use that as an ammo when I debate certain situations too. But in this situation right here, a white Diddy, which there was a white Diddy, Epstein, which you allegedly off this film.
I would say, like again, to to his defense, there's more like Diddy, or or even better, that's not getting quote unquote caught or not in the limelight because they're playing by the rules. And
And see, and unfortunately, and I guess this me sounding like the bad guy. No, I don't want to say this, but I have to. You can't get mad. You see how I'm finna say that? You can't get mad at them because they're not breaking the rules. But then you can get mad at them because you wish they would get caught. Like I want them
right,
caught as well as anybody. But if they're not going around here beating up their girlfriends, their wives, and stuff like that, it's harder to catch them.
yes,
Like
yes.
like like that's keeping it real.
Okay, so you saying that Diddy is doing too much to for him not to be in the limelight and everything coming forth, and saying too much on him. Well, whether everybody, other people being hush hush about it, and everybody got they back because he didn't burn bridges with them while
So
they doing these
if
type of
we sat on here and really sat down and just went through actors that just got slandered for cases and things of whatnot nature, it'd be just plenty of white actors and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna break down the scenario. And it may not make sense, but I hope it do.
hmm
And I really do. I hope it do. When you build a case upon a person that's in jail, that's locked up. You're building the case, right? You get
Yeah.
all the best evidence that you can. The only thing that person can do is get a lawyer to fight against the evidence that use the law to prove his innocent, right?
Okay.
When you got money, it's going to be harder to prove your evidence because, yet again, I'm going to pay somebody to clean up my mess. Ain't nobody poor clean up their own mess like that. When a poor person go out here doing something that's irrational or something that you're not allowed to do, they can't pay off a lawyer or pay a hitman or pay up a cleanup person or catch a bullet and go to a private nurse somebody and get that healed up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They gotta cross them lines that draw flags to attention. Red flags to draw the police, the FBI, the CIA to the attention. Bro, you can't do that. But when you got money, you can clean up that mess. I do this mess at a hotel. I can
Bitch,
whatever.
I'm finna get off. I have to put my kid to sleep.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Alright.
You have to really look at that situation and be like, okay, this is why these millionaires get off. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's not right. Yeah, I got P. Diddy up here, and we all probably like he needs to go to jail for a very long time. He should have been, but you got to understand, he been what cleaning up his mess.
Yeah.
That's what them rich people do. You not saying you, but if you went out here, technically you, if you went out here and did uh ooch my bad, and you had the money to hey clean us up, you would do it. You'll get cleaned up. You'll walk away like it never happened.
Mm-hmm. They got people with jobs to do that. Yeah.
Okay then. So when we sit up here and you hear people arguing, the 1%, they don't never get in trouble for what they do. They always getting away. Oh, they don't never think about like that cost. They cleaning up their mess and getting away whatever dirt they got with. That wasn't free. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a free charge. Man, look at Diddy now. Diddy like paid so many people off that he couldn't pay off nobody no more. It's like, bro, you got too much. You're
Right.
doing too much.
There any
Yeah.
more lawyers leave?
And
That's what they.
especially when people want to be free. When like that's the what's the word? Oh man, I was just saying the word the other day. Or when you're up there, the mindset. It, oh my god, I'm having a brain for it. But anyway, when you have this power and you don't want to let people go,
Yeah.
that's sad. That's hard. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and say I know what to do and say, oh yeah, just because I think Diddy is this and this and this. Yeah, bro, you got too much power. You need somebody needs to humble you. But how do you humble somebody of that essence?
Just
Everybody
like
else.
this. Put them in jail. Put them in jail. Because he
Because
humble now.
it
He
don't
real
hurt.
humble now.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had a little video. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let's do this. Before I forget, let's go to the little cow can.
What?
Because I'm supposed to be doing this, you know what I'm saying? Because I do have people that like stuff like this. Until we figure out a way to start bringing up unsolved mysteries, people like to see unsolved mysteries. stuff like that. I don't know how to do it. I want to. I don't mind, but I just don't know where to start because technically, once we get into something like that, like we can't stop till like either we get tired or we solve stuff. Like it's hard.
Can't hear you.
I say it's unsolved. I'm gonna have to send somebody on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna do
Mhm.
unsolved mysteries. We probably gonna do unsolved mysteries in states that we live.
Yeah, that'll be a nice segment. IRL type of thing for real.
Plan to kill Kid Cudi? These are allegations a jury just heard from Capricorn Clark, a former Diddy employee whose testimony could be key to proving the racketeering case against the hip hop mogul. I'm going to speak with Law and Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner, who is inside that courtroom, to get the latest from what went down. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Just off the title, I'm gonna play the title alone because the title explains everything that the video is talking about. But how many of these is he finna sit through every day and think that he not finna get people finna testify on him getting off?
Mm.
People saying he did this, I seen this.
Threats, forced polygraphs, a gun, and a plan to kill Kid Cudi? These are allegations a jury just heard from Capricorn Clark, a former Diddy employee whose testimony could be key to proving the racketeering case against the hip-hop mogul. I'm going to speak with Law and Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner, who is inside that courtroom, to get the latest from what went down. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Polygraph test? We what are we doing up in here? Look at Maria, she like, I want to know. Polygraph test. Who used Mr. Nasty in there? Look, shit. There we go. I want to get to the juices.
Right.
To the juice.
And then she went on to global branding and something that she had held as a position from about 2008 to 2012. Then there was some time lapse because a lot of things had happened after that time period. But around 2016 to 2018, she was rehired again. And she was hired actually this time to work as Cassie's brand director. So she had worked pretty much kind of from the ground up in a way, if you think about it, from just an executive assistant role all the way up until she was essentially just kind of monitoring or at least managing Cassie's brand, how she looked, how she would appear in press and red carpets, that sort of thing. And what else we know about Capricorn Clark is she was one of the other people, including Diddy and one of the security guards, who went over to Kid Cudi's house while Diddy was essentially looking for the rapper because he was in a relationship with Cassie around the time. And so this was a person that a lot of us.
I need her to say it. I need her to say it. I need her to say it. Y'all don't understand what she just said for real?
What?
So so Kid Cudi was involved with Cassidy, and P Diddy felt a way about it because they still was doing something or whatever.
Remember back a couple of days ago, maybe last week, see Maria, I was like, bro, who is these girls going to tell when they getting hurt and who changing these locks?
Yeah.
Who changing these locks on the door? She's changing the locks on the door and giving a spare key to Diddy. Come on, dog. Hold on. Let me come on. I'm gonna break it down for y'all. After just the little stuff what she just said, like, hold on, did I hear that right? I need you to just, just say she was giving the key. She was locked, she was changing locks. You was in the middle of somebody else's relationship that much to where Diddy was coming in beating up Cassidy at Kid Cudi door. I remember that story. Hold on, I'm play it again.
As Cassie's brand director. So she had worked pretty much kind of from the ground up in a way, if you think about it, from just an executive assistant role all the way up until she was essentially just kind of monitoring or at least managing Cassie's brand, how she looked, how she would appear in press and red carpets, that sort of thing. And what else we know about Capricorn Clark is she was one of the other people, including Diddy and one of the security guards, who went over to Kid Cudi's house while Diddy was essentially looking for the rapper because he was in a relationship with Cass.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the. She was one of the few people that went over to Diddy looking for Cassidy. Okay, okay. But yet again, you had not control, because I'm not going to use that in this point because I'm not sure. But yet again, you managed her career. Even at this point with Kid Cudi, you're managing her. Stop, boy, stop. Who was changing the locks? Who was changing the locks? Who was changing the locks? All right.
Around the time. And so this was a person that a lot of us have been anticipating her testimony today because a lot of us just wanted to know what she had to say. We had already heard from Cassie, and we already heard from Kid Cudi last week, and now we're hearing from Capricorn Clark. So she's really kind of tied into just different orbits or different tangles of the web within Diddy's orbit, I should say.
And my understanding is that she starts.
Yeah, y'all know Superman and y'all know about Superman.
Yeah.
Superman and Lex Luthor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all know Lex Luthor has a secretary.
Mm-hmm.
And this person is normally a she. You know, think of like y'all understand like more like people be having all these different titles. Have different titles. I'm gonna just throw Shaq just because ain't no bad news on Shaq that we know that I know Shaq, but Shaq have different titles. You know what I'm saying? He on TNT. He's a sponsor of Reeboks. He owned Forever 21 and stuff like that. So you know he owned different titles. He got a food restaurant chain. He owned different titles.
Yeah.
This girl got different titles. Yeah, you work for me, but I need you to go work for her.
The reporter lady said she was monitoring her. Listen, she was just basically an eye spy.
Mm.
I'm only listening.
To testimony by telling the jury that right from day one of her employment, Combs threatened her life. And I think this has something to do with because she had worked for Suge Knight in the past, who's a big rival, by the way, of Diddy, if anybody doesn't know.
I know if people don't know kind of the rivalry, how it started between Diddy and Suge Knight, it's like you're living under a rock essentially. But I thought it was interesting just Capricorn Clark's connection to Suge Knight, and that she said that Suge Knight is the father of her best friend's children. Now she didn't name who this best friend was while she was testifying today, but she did reveal that she had previously signed with Death Row way before she had worked with Bad Boy. So when she was hired at Bad Boy, of course, Diddy was going to have a conversation with her. And the conversation, according to Capricorn Clark, was pretty tense from what she had described. So she said this conversation that they had was just on her first day of the job as a personal assistant. So this was around the 2004 time frame. And she said on that first day that she, Diddy, and one of Diddy's security guards named Paul Albert, who we have known about for a while now, he's actually referred to by other witnesses as Uncle Paulie, that Diddy, Capricorn Clark, and Uncle Paulie all went to Central Park. And Central Park's a great place, right? But this conversation that was had at Central Park, not a great place, or not coming from a great place, according to Capricorn Clark's testimony. So she had explained that she went over to the park, and that she was kind of describing Uncle Paulie's demeanor as menacing, and she even described him kind of as a linebacker when describing just the size of him. And she said that around this time that Diddy had told her that he would have her killed if she had anything to do with Suge Knight. And this was kind of a moment in the courtroom where a lot of people were just like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I forgot people wouldn't really know. Like, come on now. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I'm gonna threaten you. We go over there and work with
Yeah,
her.
but that's so stupid. You knew she was working for Suge. Her connections to him. Why would you even want her around you?
Why would you want to even go around? Okay,
You could get anybody else to be your assistant. Why her?
because you want the inside. Yet again, you was Jaguar White before Jaguar White. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I want the info of what Shake Knight doing over there. Of course, I want to try to steal Tupac back over here before he start calling me gay and say that I can't dance and say that I take that, even though it might be true. And I ain't gonna keep going. But
Nah, to your point, definitely makes sense. Why?
yeah, I'm gonna do the slick stuff to get to do something like that. It just frustrating to like.
Now, if we didn't say secretary, I would have thought that Suge Knight did something with her, so he wanted to take her to say that he messed around with your girl, or whatever. And no, I would have thought it was to that point, but to have a secretary from another to another label, now it just seems that you want the inside scoop of what they doing. So either you can steal what they doing, or have ammo against them, type of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna hustle out the info. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna have a sit down and try to. But yet again, that conversation wouldn't be threatening. Any spy, we start throwing up spy videos too, and people talk about what they did over there. For one, they'll definitely tell you the threatening way is not always the best way to get information out of a person.
Right.
Nope.
That's why if you notice, and I thought it was just in the movie. I really did until I really got grown and started noticing my surroundings. That's why most businesses are done in the strip club, especially when men are talking, because
Mm.
it's the art of distraction. If I got this nice, cute thing bouncing up and down, we spit numbers. I can spit a number at you that benefits me more than a number you spitting at me benefits you, and I will win. I'm gonna pay for all of this. I'm gonna pay you champagne. You go sleep with her, and the VIP. You ain't even gotta leave. You know what I'm saying? We might video record it, send it to you, so your wife will get scared. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real quick, real free. That's 3 hours of being out with somebody.
What do I know?
So therefore, when you see stuff like that, it's like, come on now. But let's get back into this.
What? Because when you're seeing Diddy inside that courtroom, he's very toned down. He looks kind of like a Huxtable, maybe possibly a Mr. Rogers, where he's just in a sweater, he's in an undershirt, he's just wearing slacks. Like, he's not the Diddy that we've seen on red carpets. We're not.
But he not in a jumpsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that ain't no. Mm-hmm. That ain't no. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I thought when they go to court, they dress down for court.
Bruh, I went to court. I didn't dress down.
It wasn't the feds.
Yeah, I ain't that tough. I ain't that tough. Look, I was trying to get all buffish. Nah, I ain't that tough.
He's not the Diddy we've seen on social media. So he looks toned down inside the courtroom. So to hear that he had allegedly wanted her killed because she had this previous relationship with Suge Knight, it was kind of just like a, oh my goodness moment a little bit, because this was kind of the first time we were hearing about this. But according to Capricorn Clark, when this alleged threat was being made, that Diddy appeared very calm during this. And again, Uncle Paulie was calm. And Capricorn Clark has said Uncle Paulie didn't say anything when Diddy had allegedly made this threat. Instead, Uncle Paulie remained calm. He was stoic. But Capricorn responded to the threat saying, we'll have to see. And Capricorn admitted while she was on the stand that she should have been more transparent. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, but she said she should have been more transparent just about the overall relationship with Suge Knight. Because again, Suge Knight and Diddy go way back and not in necessarily a good.
So she kept information from Diddy about Suge.
I mean, so if you knew that, why keep around now?
That's what transparent means. I guess because you ran from Suge and you want a better job.
Oh wow.
But you got it.
Oh, if you used to roll with my op, I don't want you around me.
But yet again, that's why she said she should have been more transparent about working with Suge. So she kept that out of the picture as much as possible in the beginning. Yeah, she had to, because to be more transparent, that means to tell more information. I should have talked more about, me and my involvement, that my best friend was sleeping with Suge, or Suge Knight's one of Suge Knight's entourage, and this is why I know this person. I don't like that picture. I don't like no dude blinking. Press play.
Way either. You know, they started off as kind of colleagues in a way, or at least cordial from my understanding of it, and then things escalated. Obviously, Suge Knight used to kind of be on the West Coast side with Death Row, whereas Biggie and even Diddy.
Can I say it's funny to hear them talk about it like it never happened? Like this is shocking that there was ever a rap beef one day in America.
Yeah.
It made me feel. I'm sorry.
Diddy represented the East Coast side, and that was Bad Boy, of course, that we know. And so then while we were inside the gallery and while we were inside the courtroom, we see a bunch of exhibit photos. And the exhibit photos are photos we've seen before. They were photos of D-Rock. D-Rock was a good friend of Biggie Smalls, according to Capricorn Clark. And this is something that we've known as well, too, because D-Rock was the one who had driven down another assistant to try to find Suge Knight that one time. So everything just kind of intertwines with itself. But really, I think the takeaway is just this beef carried on and on forever. And so then we saw another exhibit photo, this one of Ruben. Ruben is going to be kind of an important figure later on in Capricorn Clark's testimony. But we saw a photo of Ruben.
Again, feeds into the narrative of this. This is really like a criminal enterprise, right? Lie detector tests, bodyguards, threats. But I think the threats also corroborate what Cassie had testified to. So Cassie had talked about threats, and which is very important for coercion, one of the elements of sex trafficking, right? And the big theme is, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she step away? Why didn't she report what was going on? Well, think about the environment she was around. And if she's not the only one testifying to this, and there's been other...
So basically, they get him on racketeering because he basically threatened everybody's career, and he hung their career over their head.
Mm-hmm. That's typical.
That's racketeering. That's saying that you're enterprise because you're holding your business over their heads of getting in pavement or pavement. Why it sound like I'm saying pavement? But payment. I'm so glad I did not try to sign up for the band. Did you ever want to be with Bad Boys? Well, I know you didn't. You God wouldn't allow you to do it.
No, probably wouldn't.
I can see him making a band talking about, I rebuke you, Diddy. Hold on, wait a minute. Cause I heard a story, and it's been repeated that when Diddy sent making the band the episode where he sent them walking to go get the cheesecake, that he had them to go get the cheesecake for Beyonce because Beyonce was in the building.
Uh, that
I
would
heard,
make that wouldn't make sense. That
I
wouldn't.
I didn't know that it was for Beyonce. I thought it was for him.
I would think it was for him because he definitely was on some stuff. So I wouldn't think that was for Beyonce.
well, I heard that a couple of times about that story when it comes to that.
Like when it first happened and stuff, I thought it was for him. I never heard Beyonce name in it till now.
I thought yet again it was for them to bond together because yet again they wasn't a group trying to teach. He was trying to teach them a lesson, not go get a cheesecake for somebody and doing
Right
that.
there,
Yeah,
I just felt like he was trying to show his power. Cause why they had to walk all the way from Manhattan to Brooklyn to get a
they
cheesecake?
didn't just not have to walk. They also had to spit Biggie's lyrics because he was he had them rap one of Biggie verses and they all didn't know it.
So that was a punishment to go get to walk and get the cheesecake.
Yeah, because they had to rap.
Or Biggie.
They had to know the lyrics or something like that. I
Oh, you
surprisingly,
was invested. Oh, you was invested.
yeah, yeah, because at that time, I at that time I still kind of wanted to be a rapper and
Right.
all that stuff. Or I think was I trying to run a label? I don't know what I was doing, but in between that time, yeah, I was still trying to do all this stuff. So yeah, and for me to be a Biggie fan more than a Tupac fan at that time, I guess I did hear a lot of stories about that. But like any real fan, you started loving the music, but you invested in other little rappers that came along too. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? If you was a true fan, you always waited for a Biggie album, but yeah, I liked the Junior Mafia. I remember when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like
I mean, I would agree.
I was a big Jay Z fan, just like everybody else, but stop,
Nah.
stop, stop the brakes when Beanie Siegel came out. Man, stop the brakes. That's all I was listening to was beans. Like I need some beans, and I heard more stories about that and what was going on, especially when it was coming out, because them guys wasn't scared to put it in their lyrics. Like man, you knew exactly who somebody's talking about when, and then if back then you would go to the magazine and the magazines would break down a story that happened. You'd be like, oh, that's why. And you know, that's how you really got your hip hop music at that time, unless you was watching MTV. But MTV really didn't talk about the ins and outs of the hip hop. They kept everything
Uh-uh.
clean and commercialized. You had to
Mm-hmm.
put
Mhm.
stuff in on books or you know
O-
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, boy. That's that's why hip hop was able to make a lot of more money back then. It was harder but easier at the same time, depending on what angle you looked at. It was hard to get your music out there. So therefore, when you did get your music out there, it was easy for you to make a lot of money because all you had to do was have at least four good hot songs to
Right.
to sell a tape or a CD, especially back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Between the tape and the CD, yeah, bro, you got 4 or 5 hot songs, put it on the tape, and then listen to my stuff. Everybody listening to that tape, everybody's listening to a CD, listen to it, boom, get a CD. Um, I remember working for AT&T, and this is when I was tired. We was out roaming around and stuff, through the woods because this is what you do with towers. Most towers are out in the wilderness and stuff like that. And this is around the time when Eminem had that damn radio show. And that was another way to hear about them.
Mm-hmm.
His play was always telling stories, and when he up there with the hip hop with the greatest with the legends, you know what I'm saying? It was basically story time with anybody, even up to Ti and 8 Ball MJG, you know what I'm saying, just to go around. Even Ice Cube when he came around, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, when these guys came around to
He still got his station, Shade 45.
yeah, it's just on XM radio. You know, they want you to pay that for that exclusive.
Oh,
But DJ Drama used to have an episode on there,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to take time out to go outside and pull an artist straight off the streets and let them spit or let them drop their CD.
Who Kid was on there too, right?
I think so. You know, I wasn't familiar with every voice I heard because it was just accent radio, so I was just listening. But
Mm-hmm.
I do remember like he used to like pull people off the streets, and I do remember a day that Young Thug was there. Young Thug was like, "Yeah, bro, you remember how? Yes, yeah, used to be out there. Used to be out there every day, scrawny, big white T-shirt every day, fresh white tees and stuff like that, up there trying to hand out your CD with me. Like I remember that, you know what I'm saying? That's how I pulled you up. I was like, dang, like okay, you know. I think that quote where they says that struggle that we go through makes us stronger, but
Mm-hmm.
when that struggle is not there, what makes a man weaker?
okay.
Yeah. And you could
When
definitely tell it in the raps.
and you know what I'm saying? You can definitely tell it in the
Oh,
rap game.
them first, like that first album they dropped, go hard. Second one, you might, depends. Third, fourth, yeah, you watered down. You watered down.
Mm.
You see, these days
Only
right
some
now,
that's still like, street, like the locks. They ain't never get watered down and they ain't want to get watered down.
well, they had one main person in their way. One person that was
Eddie?
always
Who?
Jay. Jay battled Kiss more than he battled any other person. He just never spoke his name to give Kiss his credibility. It's always sly slick shit. Go back to that Maya song. Kiss was on that Maya song first before the remix came out with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I sure was like, ah, because I always thought Kiss was fire.
Mm-hmm.
But then back then, with your agents and stuff like that, third party and stuff like that. Nowadays, you can blow up and get you a deal straight off the internet because you views and you do something unique.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The creativity is there, which is cool. But then is I think Jaguar White said it best is when you sign a signature. It's something about that signature signing that's that's bad. I don't want to say satanic because
Mm-hmm.
I might be using the wrong word. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use the wrong word, but it's something about.
It's signing your it's the signing a contract in blood. That's when it comes to that.
But yet again, we don't sign in blood. We sign in pens and ink. So I get that, but yet again,
It's figurative and literal. It's figurative and literal.
just the fact of signing your name on a piece of paper. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Cause I'll think about it is okay, spiritually, that's what you're giving your life to when it's a contract involved and certain things get held over your head because you're signed to another man, like that's just like signing your life over to the military. Yourself is not, your likeness is not your own anymore for a amount of years. You signed yourself over to them. That's how serious it is in that space when you sign your name. You're not your own person. You're signed to them.
So you believe that we are more freer than the people that are celebrities?
You're more freer not signing a contract and being underground, whatever thing you're trying to do. You're way more freer because your money is your money. You don't have to share with nobody. No 360. No, you gotta wait till you'll get the
That's why.
radio play.
Look, that's why Tory going through what he going through.
Yep.
When you not under and you ain't signed nobody contract and you doing what you doing, yeah, they want you. They want you.
That's kind of deep now because Tory turned down the deal,
Yeah.
but he was too deep into who they was throwing at him. Like they was throwing a couple girls at him, and then he didn't understand what they really intentions was. But that was the whole reason why he's supposed to try with them because of the women that they was throwing at him to get him on there.
Don't forget,
You
y'all.
wasn't dumb.
Tory Lane also did something that was never had been done. I seen like a small video. Somebody wanted to sign him, like I said, what it did, he did, and then he ended up releasing his song online and end up making twice as much as what the deal was supposed to be, or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's something where you can buy it and then you can resell it for any other type of price. And people was making money. He was making money off the song, but the people that had the song for themselves or the album, or whatever, they was making more money off of it. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And they ain't like that because yeah, they ain't like that.
They ain't gonna like it. They can't get their hands in there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You don't just come out and think you're gonna be getting money on your own. That's just like on the streets. Like who gave you right to come do that? Who you under out here? Oh, you ain't under somebody? You better get with somebody. Look, or you getting out of here.
Yeah,
Get with somebody or you getting off this block.
yeah. The Tory Lanez thing is more deeper than we really think. Than now, if you say it like that, now it's way
Hmm.
more deeper.
Yeah, they look. See what they did to him? That boy was fire. He was fire. He still is fire. When he come out, he gonna be yeah.
They don't even want him to get out of jail. That's the thing. They want him to stay in there or either unalive in there.
Did you notice
Once
though?
that,
Did you notice though? Soon as that new evidence and all of that came out, that's when they try to get him, try to kill him. They don't want him out, not at all. You don't want to sell your soul. You don't want to get down with us. You can't be out here. Can't be out here.
I really think he protected by the Lord though. Uh,
Yes, he is. You see what
heavily.
happened? You see what happened? Did you hear his new album?
Mm-mm.
Listen to his new album. When we,
All right. If I listen to his album,
I know.
I
No,
gotta
let me tell you because I know what you about to say, but listen to it, then pray.
I gotta listen to it differently. I gotta listen to it to critique it and break it down, not to listen to it, enjoy it.
Yeah, that's. I listen to it to hear his story through it because
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear about it. He's gonna tell you everything. Like, that's the crazy part. He's gonna tell you how them lawyers did, the DAs. He gonna tell you.
I've been seeing this a few times. So yet again, this is one of those
Wait a minute,
things that
45,000
Why is that possible?
for real.
yet again, you hear something, it goes one way, but yet again, we don't. We got to break it down.
Girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get food stamps. You better start lying. That lady called me and said, ma'am, I said, yes, ma'am. She'll say, what's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 4 or 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a 3-bedroom and everything, living lovely. Then she gonna say, ma'am, what's your job title?
Not
I say, ma'am,
lovely.
they won't hire me anywhere. I don't have no job. I've been putting application after application and just like nothing work. Yeah, that lady was on the phone. She said, ma'am, I'm so sorry for all of this that you're going through. She said, we just shipped your card out. You should have about $1,000 on your card from last month and this month, and your balance and your payment every month is gonna be $300. I was like, thank you so much, ma'am. Like, you just don't understand how hungry I've been. Let me tell y'all something. This was wrong with y'all. I know y'all mama ain't tell y'all. You don't gotta tell everybody the motherfucking truth.
This is one of the reasons why Trump is cracking down on social services, because there's so much rampant fraud. And now that we have social media, people are willing to tell on themselves, which the fraud is rampant regardless of whether
That
people
was
tell
just
on
real
themselves. But I think that it make
stupid
it
right
easier.
there. You thought that was a flex? Thought that was a flex? Listen, this why. This why they want to take everything away. Because of stupidness like this.
But you got a lot of OGs that y'all know what world y'all be in. Y'all know the TikTok word that they don't see this. They hear this and like, oh, they're just one or few people. There's not one or few people when it's 10,000s of people, hundreds of millions of people that go on here and say that. Or she probably got how many likes? Hold on. Well, that ain't her video, but ain't no telling how many likes, how many people agree with her and stuff like that. Other matter.
Here for people to find you. I think that we should have our social services and the people actually go through to figure out whether or not people are telling on themselves on social media. Similarly to how I would do it if I was hiring somebody, or how I hire people, I would always go and find a social media to see what they were really about, so you can understand what's really happening and what's on their mind. But I don't even know if men can get away with this. Could men get away with this? Can they lie like that? This is another reason why I don't believe all women by default. They keep.
What you say?
No, they can't. Simply because one, we don't got kids to really get that, and for two, a lot of times if you don't look the part type of thing of like, okay, if you're struggling type of thing, then they definitely not going to do it for you for real. Um, like with me, I would say that I was doing it with my father when he trying to be my life, or whatever. Um, and he was trying to tell me, oh, you gotta say this, you gotta say that, you gotta lie about that. I'm telling you, E, da da da, you gotta say it like this, because if you don't, we not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. I'm like, and then my spirit was just like, I really don't want to do this, bro. Like, but I guess if I need to, I'm gonna do it. But I really don't need it or want to do it for real. And they was asking tough questions. They was asking questions like, "Oh, if you're at home with your mom and she pays all the bills, then why you're not getting You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need help with it? Why do you need our help if you got your mom and she's helping you out? And I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, because I just came from a marriage, da da da. Like I'm struggling, I don't got a job, da da da. No, I had to make it believable. But at the same time, even though that I'm telling the truth, it's like I had to tell half truths in there just to even make it believable. So it was real hard. So it was like, and I don't have no solid type of situation to tell them like, oh, yeah, I'm homeless. Then after that, I'm gonna have to be somewhere I want to be just because I said that I'm homeless. You know what I'm saying? They would have like, oh, if you're homeless, we can get you a shelter. I'm like, no, it's not like that. I'll live with my mom. Then now my dad looked at me like, what? Why are you saying that? No, saying you're homeless. I'm like, no, I'm not doing no house shelter today. I'm not doing that. No, that's too much for me. I'm
Nowadays, it's a lot easier for people to get food stamps. They really don't have to lie as much to just answering a few questions. Second of all, most states really don't care how you come because, yes, I'm in Vegas. No offense. I'm in Vegas. And they come in their best gear to come get some food stamps. Okay. It's hot outside. So their best gear is half naked. Yeah, boy, they would come half naked, booty shaking, twerking like they just came off a stripper pole.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's hot out here. So when all that image fitting the image and stuff like that, I get it back in the day, but it really kind of like depends on where you stay. Cause like you said, this girl, she didn't even go in; she called on the phone. So you know what I'm saying? That made it way more easier to collect food stamps and get assistance because you ain't even got to go in. But I just thought this video was interesting. I kept saying like multiple people talk about this food stamp thing. I thought maybe like, yeah, we should talk about it, see what it's about. You know, it looks a little interesting. It looks interesting. E-Dub.
Yeah.
You my guy. This you see this video right here?
Uh-huh.
This is a debate. Okay. And this debate in particular is how you come to an argument not prepared to argue with somebody who has their shit together. If you watch this video, you will learn and seeing fashions of listening to an argument and seeing the difference between coming to an argument and watching somebody that don't have their shit together compared to somebody that does have that stuff together and come with articulate arguments and break down definition things so you can better understand the argument and where they're coming from. This you I promise you, boy, this is a perfect video for you to watch. Cause I watched that and I laughed at that girl, her trying. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. My lawyer got a video. Where you been?
Testimony in the Diddy trial was a little crazy. Kidnapping, arson, drug offenses. Today's testimony in the Diddy trial was a little crazy.
Go check out Nate the lawyer, man. I gotta learn how to put his contact in the description and people videos that I do use, man. Go check out those people descriptions and stuff like that. Yeah, Nate. Let's get into it.
This is Capricorn Clark. She is a former assistant to Sean P. Diddy Combs, and she worked with him from 2004 to 2012, and then later worked for Cassie Ventura in 2018. Now, what you see on the screen is a chart of all the various crimes the government is accusing Sean Combs of committing in this particular trial. Now, it's important to remember that the government only has to prove 2 of these to be true to get a conviction on the RICO charges. Now, along with the RICO charges, the government's also charging Combs separately with sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution. So today's testimony started to focus in on the kidnapping allegation of 13A listed in the indictment. So let's start with the alleged kidnapping incident that occurred in December of 2011. Capricorn Clark recounted a frightening incident that occurred in December of 2011 when she says that Combs discovered that his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was secretly involved with rapper Kid Cudi. She testified that early one morning, an enraged Combs pounded on Clark's door at about 5:30 to 6 a.m. in the morning. When she opened it up, she saw Combs looking disheveled, well dressed though, but his pants were torn. He was holding a gun, and according to Clark, Combs demanded, why didn't she tell him about Cassie and Kid Cudi? She then testified that she was told to get dressed by Diddy, who said that they were about to go and kill Kid Cudi. Now, I want you to hear from someone who's sitting in the courtroom while this testimony is being given. He's an attorney from New York, like myself. His name is Joe Neerman, and they call him Good Logic. Here is his recap of the testimony.
Day 10 at the Diddy trial, and this morning we saw testimony from Capricorn Clark, longtime assistant to Diddy on and off between 2004 and 2018. She documented a whole new series of crimes that we had not yet heard about while corroborating testimony from Kid Cudi and Cassie Ventura. I am Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I'm an attorney in downtown New York, covering this trial and dropping 2 videos a day, letting you know what's happening inside the courtroom and giving you a legal perspective on matters that you're not going to get from legacy media. We've now had 3 witnesses who have testified between Cassie, Kid Cudi, and Capricorn Clark to the outrage that Diddy displayed when he first learned of an ongoing relationship between Cassie Ventura and Kid Cudi. Now, Capricorn had known about this relationship for a while. She testified that she went with Cassie to get her burner phone because she was concerned that if Diddy would find out about this relationship, that all hell would break loose, and she figured that Diddy controlled her phone and that the best thing for her to do would be to get a burner phone. When Diddy found out about this, she said it was on December 22nd, 2011, that he came to her and took her at gunpoint in a car saying, we're going to get Cassie. And that they went and they gone to Cassie's house. They had gone to Kid Cudi's house, and they were driving around, and they were staying in. They stopped off at a hotel for a while, and were hanging out a couple of miles away from Kid Cudi's house. And the different interactions that she had with Cassie and Kid Cudi by phone at the express direction of Diddy. Now, Diddy saw that there was a personal relationship between Capricorn Clark and Cassie. And at one point during that day, before the police had arrived, when they saw that the police were going to be coming, he said that Diddy seemed to calm a little bit when he saw the police involvement was coming down. That he had Cassie he had Capricorn collect Cassie to bring her back to his house, and that was what she did. She, at Diddy's direction, according to Capricorn, called up Cassie and told Cassie that Diddy refuses to let her go, meaning he's going to hold on to Capricorn until Cassie would come. And was
You remember what? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you she was getting in the door? You up here claiming you unlocking doors. Well, that's why I asked these weird. I know y'all be thinking I ask these weird questions. But I be asking these weird questions for a reason. Like, I broke up with you. I don't like you. You're disgusting. And I changed the lock on the door. Who is going to change these locks? Because I'm too bougie to do this shit myself.
Right.
You got Diddy's secretary up here getting your locks changed because she your manager. Is that a Red Bull? I thought you want to fly again. But this is the second person that just damn near proved my point of what I said about them doors getting locked. Like, somebody gotta, I don't know why ain't nobody asking that question. Hey, man, when you left Diddy, who got your who got your locks changed? I think that's a slam dunker right there of a question to need to be asked. I need that to be asked by somebody. I don't care if you move because I know you for some odd reason I know you didn't do that. I know you who changed your locks.
Was essentially using her as a bargaining chip that she was being held hostage by Diddy until Cassie would come and meet with Diddy. Now, this is what, and in fact, the testimony opened, very near the opening statement. One of the first questions she got was, "Were you kidnapped by Diddy?" And she said yes. And that's the incident she's referring to, not the incident so much with the lie detector test, which some would qualify as a kidnapping in 2004. But the 2011 incident is what they're referring to as a kidnapping. After she ends up collecting Cassie, she also was directed to go to Kid Cudi and contact him and tell him that with the police coming to his house, that he should not identify Diddy as the person who came to his house or having any relationship to it. Otherwise, quote unquote, he said he will kill us all, meaning presumably Capricorn, Cassie, and Kid Cudi, that he was threatening that if the police were notified of his involvement in approaching Kid Cudi's house, when Kid Cudi called the police and ended up reporting a break-in, that if he would identify Diddy, that he would kill them all. So this is all very consistent with the testimony that we heard from both Cassie and from Kid Cudi as to the events that went down near the end of 2011.
So you've got everything from burglary, kidnapping, witness tampering. Yeah, you have the whole ball of wax. But Capricorn Clark had to face cross-examination from the defense. And Joe's about to tell us what happened with that.
We spent this entire afternoon listening to the cross-examination redirect of Capricorn Clark, and defense counsel Mark Agnifilo had Capricorn Clark bawling her eyes out for several segments of her testimony, and at times seeming to be a little bit confused and not sure of a recollection as to the series of calls she made while she was sitting in Diddy's car outside of Kid Cudi's house. Now, there was a lot of damning evidence that was presented.
Never name your kids Kid Cudi. That's all I want to say.
This morning, when she told over the entire story, what it was like sitting in the car with Diddy the morning that he had found out that Cassie Ventura was having a relationship with Kid Cudi, and the rage that he was displaying, that he allegedly kidnapped Capricorn Clark at gunpoint, and she was questioned on cross-examination about this. And Mark Agnifilo made some great points, some great strides. Question about the trip to Kid Cudi's house and the phone call she made, which she said that she was trying to call someone for help, and also to notify and give a heads up to Kid Cudi that Diddy was coming after them, saying that the first person she called was Laura London, which she describes as a close friend, like her sister at the time. And she said that the reason she called Lauren was because she had fears as to that she was just going to disappear. And in fact, she testified on direct that when she was told to call Cassie in order to convince Cassie to come visit Diddy at Diddy's direction, that Diddy told Cassie through Capricorn. So this is Capricorn now talking to Cassie, saying, Diddy said he's not going to let me go until you come here, until you agree to come to his house and meet with him. And that Cassie accordingly agreed to come. And
so far as the case that they building, like, y'all remember how we thought about when we first got into this? Now where y'all looking at it? How y'all looking at this situation?
Yeah, Diddy definitely is a, imagine if he got away with all this that he was threatening to do. This is crazy.
Yet again, you say getting away, he's still innocent until proven guilty.
Hey. So okay. So we just saying these are just stories until we prove is right.
These are what they call witness testimonies.
Come
And
on, yeah. Come on.
I should have said this the last time. There are people that do got immunity to come testimony, so therefore anything they can their testimony cannot be used against them in court. There are a few people that will be testifying that do have that.
Right.
Everybody not under what's it called Marie.
Yeah.
So what you think about him so far? He's still the same old, or
I
still
think they can definitely pull that too for that Rico.
all that all that taking your job away from you, huh?
They
They
can
definitely,
pull that too.
especially if he
Out of
honestly.
all of those, all they need is two off the list to do the Rico.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They on their way. He didn't look like he really doesn't. I mean, distorting people with their story with stuff that happened so long ago. I think it's a typical story. I don't think that you're gonna change a jury mind of looking at you as a so-called monster.
No.
You think he gonna get to the You think he's gonna get to them?
To the jury.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I kind of feel like the jury already got their mind made up.
Hell no.
I feel like they already know. I mean, I think would it take like one of them to mess it up or something? If one of them disagree with the decision of the others?
Yeah. It had to be a Nana Smith on a decision for decision decide for the jury. Unless they just don't want to bill or what I'm saying, it's a way for them to drop out, but other than that, they have to at least say what they want to say. Have y'all been hearing all these stories about Joe Biden? People are testifying about Joe Biden, how they knew that he was incontinent, he had cancer, he's been stuff like that. Like a whole bunch of news reporters are losing credibility. It's funny in this news
What?
stuff.
Mm.
Stuff has been like weird. It's like it's not like big story, but it's just something that's been blowing up on the news for is politics because Democrats are not up here trying to get no bills done. Where you got the Republican parties at least trying to give out the tax break. Um, I don't think both of y'all was in here where I did the tax break bill or the breakdown. Yeah, I think that was me and James Knight. I would do that next time on her so y'all can see that the tax breakdown bill.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is trying to do. He's trying to get passed for the 4th of July, where it's a lot of tax cuts for the middle class and low class area. He actually got a tax on the rich for them to pay for a certain amount of this stuff and tax
Mm.
for
Okay.
other other than that, y'all, Diddy. I feel sorry for the guy because I don't know, dog. To me, just hypothetically speaking, it feels like this a slow death, and I just mean that like on a physical body to sit up here to relive things, to go back and for like it's like if there's a way to speed this up to get it over, I know P Diddy would love to do it to get it out of the way because either I'm going to sit down or I'm not. But yet again, something has to happen. I just feel sad for the slow, draining time that you got to go through to figure out am I guilty or not. Especially if you end up guilty, that shit is like I sat here for 11 weeks, probably a year and a half,
Right.
and then I'm guilty, and now I got to spend 40 years, 40 years in jail, and I'm 50. So
Dang. Huh. Look at all Kelly. Look. How long Kelly got?
man, even he tried to call Trump and said, "Can I get a pardon?" Don't call Trump. He didn't vote for
He couldn't vote. He couldn't vote. Oh, he couldn't vote.
him. I
That's
just,
crazy. Everybody want a pardon.
I want a pardon.
I need a pardon for my son. Get him out.
Let's get, make that T-shirt happen. On me, for real. We need him out. He ain't even do nothing.
He ain't do nothing.
Nothing at all. There's no tapes, no nothing. I think my cousin need a pardon. I definitely got a cousin, dog. That dude definitely. I promise you what he did. When he did it, under Biden administration, he should not have no choice. I promise you. But last word, ladies and gentlemen.
No, this definitely was a good live. It was definitely knowledgeable. I appreciate it.
It was peaceful, huh?
Nice, peaceful little live. I gotta go back and watch yesterday's. I didn't get a chance to view that yet.
Man, all I'm gonna say is if you when you watch that, I do apologize for the first 10 minutes. It's gonna be hard for you to get. You know,
Did
that's why I got a
Let me just ask this: did the ratings go up? Did the ratings go up?
They went up, but still, it was.
See, they like real stuff.
Hey,
They like the real.
At first, it looked like it was not going to be a show. Like it was
what?
Yeah, man. Could be, and you know what? To find, and I'm gonna say it like this. I think I said it in the beginning. To find a weakness in a person and try to expose it online is definitely 100% disgusting. But in the same token, I gotta learn for when I do see that how to retaliate and counter back because it is my show. I would take full responsibility on that. Okay.
Yeah, just like certain things should not be, certain lines shouldn't be crossed. You
Oh
know.
yeah, there was 100% lines crossed in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, like it got to be some. Can't cross these lines.
That's why I'm saying I'm glad you wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And people that was there, unfortunately, but positively was there on purpose and needed to be there. I do believe the people that was there needed to be there. That's why they were there for that Pacific Line. That's why it was so early. Because I woke up out of my sleep like, huh? Oh, what, man? Come on, man. What you say? This. Oh man, we finna air this out and straighten this out online, and that's how I took it at first. Like we finna clean all this up on live, like, so we finna have proof of what happened because you know how we do. My stuff was all documented.
Mm-mm.
And then it cleaned up and it got better, stuff like that. But
The issue was resolved, or you just came to
I wouldn't say it's resolved. I would just say that they have a understanding of where they fit on certain discussion.
mhm.
I think EW needs to just come with the weapons a little bit more on that discussion because yet again, it's gonna be brought up, but next time it'll be brought up, I have plenty of saying, and that's why in this situation I only got attacked a little bit. Once I got attacked a little bit, I had my say so. Like, stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? They was like, okay, back to EW. And I was like, "Damn." You know what I'm saying? Because I tried to bring the attention to me. I really did. I tried to bring it over to me, like, okay, bring that same energy that you have with Edub over here with somebody that can battle both of y'all. Because, bro, I would shut y'all down on what y'all talking about for really disgusting. This man is talking about how pedophilia or grooming is being a bundle in classes in schools and stuff like that, where you had teachers going out on the internet bragging about the grooming and what they wanted to groom. I, I just,
Wow.
yeah, during the pandemic and a little bit after the pandemic, when schools was letting back open, that's when the gates was flooded, where teachers felt like they had the power to teach your kids without your knowledge of things. And I heard some things that teachers
Mhm.
did. Because during the pandemic, when you're homeschooling and you open up that laptop, your house becomes federal ground. So if you got a homeschool child that goes to a city school, when you city school him, your house becomes federal property. So anything that camera pick up, yeah, can get you indicted.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
He said, uh-uh.
Yeah, that's why I don't play. Look, either you at that table, you at that table, or you in your room. Not about to play with me. Y'all ain't in my house.
Yeah. I heard that. I said, man, when y'all gonna tell parents that? So parents can clean up their, well. Yeah, because they know their
Look,
mic was on.
yeah, because I know plenty of people that was going ham when them kids be home. All kind of in the background while the kids in school. Like, girl, get up, move.
Man,
Don't see them kids on.
a lot of things got exposed. Like people got bold because of the entrapment of being in the house all day.
Yeah.
But it's been a good one, y'all. I promise you, we're gonna do this again until next time. I do love my new camera.
Yes, very, very, listen, high tech over there.
Mm.
All right, y'all. Until next time. God
All right.
bless y'all. We out. Peace.